Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een, amma ba'd. So Alhamdulillah, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you brothers have now studied marfu'at, mansubat and majrurat. That's amazing. That's a big base for all of Nahu to develop later, at least with Asma. And inshallah we'll talk about Af'al and how a fi'l changes due to Arab later inshallah. But if you can get this base down strong, your I'rab of Quran, your understanding of Nahu having to do with Asma will be very, very strong. So, 6 marfu'at. Who can name them? Those watching at home, pause the video. Name them yourselves. Alright, go ahead. 6 marfu'at. Mubtada, Fariq, excellent. Khabar, excellent. Fa'il, Naib anil fa'il. You got 4. Ism kana and khabar inna. Excellent. MashaAllah, I'm impressed. Now, 11 mansubat. Go ahead. Now remember, I taught you guys a trick. How to memorize these, right? So there's 2 things you can easily get that you already got from marfu'at. Ism inna will be mansub because we just said khabar inna is marfu'. So ism inna, khabar kana. Easy, right? Now, how many maf'ulat?
5.
5. So name them.
مفعول به.
مفعول به.
مفعول فيه.
مفعول فيه.
مفعول مطلق.
مفعول مطلق.
مفعول لأجله.
مفعول لأجله.
مفعول معه.
مفعول معه. Excellent. Now what else do we have left?
مفعول فيه.
We already said that, mashallah. So we got 5 maf'ulat, so we're good on maf'ulat. And that's why it's good to remember that there is 5, so you don't keep going back and forth. Like maf'ul lahu and dharf, we know that those are already taken before. Maf'ul li ajlihi is also called maf'ul lahu, and dharf is maf'ul fihi. So we got those. And what do we have left?
الحال.
Hal,
التمييز.
tamyiz, al-mustathna, and Usama. Excellent. Munada. That's 11 mansubat. You guys are doing excellent. You know, ask somebody who studied Nahu for a long time. Just go up to him. Just ask him, can you name all the mansubat? And you'll see people will be stuck. Majrurat. There's only 2. Go ahead. We just did this in the last dars. And there are only 2. Mudaf ilay and when it comes after huruf al-jar. Excellent. So those are the only 2 things that are from in of themselves majrurat. Tayyib. Now the one thing that's left is what's called at-tawabi'. At-tawabi', what does taba'a mean?
To follow.
To follow. So tawabi', they are followers, right? They will follow something. So there's only 4 of them, and inshallah we will go over some of them. This is more of an introduction. We'll have inshallah one more dars related to this subject. But this is important because now, many times when you went and did your homework, you looked at something and you said, why is this majroor? There's no harf al-jar here. It's not mudaf ilay. Many times it's because it was tabi' to something else. Or you found it marfu or mansub or in other ahwal, thinking, why is it this way? And it turns out the reason is because it's following something else. It doesn't have its own ruling. So when you memorize this, inshallah, after this, any ayah of Quran, any hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you find any ism in it, you will be able to tell me what hal is it in. Any ism. Throughout the Quran, throughout a hadith, af'al, there is one category of af'al which is different from this, where it will become sakin, majzoom, it will get a sukoon on it. And we'll discuss that inshallah when we get to af'al. But with asma, which is a vast majority of the words in the Quran and ahadith, you will be able to tell every single hal of it, you will know it inshallah ta'ala. Now, like I said, this is some beginning stuff. We could go into advanced like ism, laysa and all those kinds of things, but inshallah everything in its stages. So there's only 4 real tawabi'. There's 4 reasons an ism will become tabi' to another ism. Tayyib? One, it's called a sifa or na'at. Na'at and sifa, for right now, it's the same thing to you guys. And as we discussed, there are discussions amongst ulama, what if there is a difference, and what is the difference, and what is a difference of linguistic istilah of different areas, but we're not going to get into all of that right now. Right now, we're going to go with the fact that na'at and sifa means something that describes something. طيب? You understand?
Yes.
Excellent. طيب. So here, if we look at this ayah of Quran, which we read all the time, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. طيب? Let's make i'rab. Let's look at the grammar of it. B is what?
حرف
Harf. Ism, and the alif is dropped here, is
Majroor.
majroor. Excellent. طيب. Now, the ism Allah. Now what is this?
This is mudaf ilayh.
Everybody agree with that?
And why is it مضاف إليه?
Excellent. You tell me.
I was absent last week.
Oh, you didn't watch the video? What do you have this camera on for?
I'm going to find it.
It's on there. I showed it to you. Tell you. It does have numbers. It's got numbers on the side.
I didn't see the numbers.
I'll show them to you, inshallah. Tell you. So, the first thing, what is the i'rab of it?
It's
Majroor. Tayyib. So you already know, because of mashallah, last week's lesson, for those who were here or watched the video, that there's only two reasons in reality why it would be majroor, right? Now we talked about, you know, if it's al-qadi and qadin and that kind of exceptions to the rule, but in rule, so either it's got to have a harf, a jar before it, or it's got to be mudaf ilayh. So does it have harf jar before it?
No.
It does?
No.
Okay, some people were shaking their head less. I was like, oh, really?
Well, you're pointing at ism, so ism does have, right? You're pointing at ism,
Right, but
so ism does, but we're talking about Allah.
Ism Zul Jalala, does it have, the one we're discussing, is here in this place of Ism a harf jar?
No.
No, it's not. Tayyib. So, what are the qualities of something that is mudaf ilayh? Yes.
One is nakira, one is ma'rifah.
Excellent. So one is nakira, one is ma'rifah. So is ism nakira?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I only hear like one voice. So everybody else asleep?
Oh, yeah,
Alright, we got a lot of students. For the brothers watching video, there's a lot of students here. We're not hearing them. Tayyib. So this is nakira and this is ma'rifah. Right? Now, today's dars is sifa. Right? So could this be a sifa here?
No.
Could this be a sifa of ism? No? Why not?
It's not
Allah's not describing anything.
It could be naked.
Excellent. First thing is, it's not describing. Second pointer, when you have a sifa, when you have atf here, it has to have taba', it has to follow in gender, in ma'rifah and nakara, yarhamukallah, and in i'rab. So if this was a sifa, and it's not, it would have to be ma'rifah. You get it? If you don't get it, ask.
I get it.
MashaAllah. The third time taking the class, you better get it. Yes, Yusuf.
Fourth time.
Fourth, MashaAllah. May Allah bless it to be a fifth. Rahmakallah. Yusuf, go ahead. You raised your hand.
Scratching my head.
Oh, in that case, from scratching your hand, now tell me, what do I mean that they both have to be ma'rifah?
Specific.
Both have to have alif lam.
Excellent. So if this was al-ism, Allah, then we could have had a discussion that is it ma'tuf, is it connected through one of these, but it's not. And it's majroor, and this is nakira, and this is ma'rifah. And ism Allah comes together to give you the full meaning. Right? What are we talking about? Beginning with the name of Allah. Right? If you just said ism, who's ism? If you said I begin with Allah, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean you begin with Allah? Right? So, then we see that this is what is it? Mudaf ilayh. And this becomes your mudaf. And mudaf doesn't have i'rab of itself. So that's why we don't. Its i'rab is actually from the harf jar that was before it. Tayyib. Now mudaf ilayh is majroor. We got that. Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. What is the i'rab here? Are they also mudaf ilayh?
They're both sifa.
They're sifa. How did you get that?
Because they're both describing.
Excellent. First thing, they are sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Second thing, you find that they are both following this pattern of being majroor. Right? They're all majroor?
Yes.
Everybody agree? And they're all ma'rifah. Yes?
Yes.
So this tells you that this is... Now, I could make an argument here that this is badal and all that. We're not going down that path right now. But these are sifat. Tayyib? So this is describing Ism Dhul Jalala, the word Allah, that bi ism with, I begin with, the harf of the fi'l, I don't get into all that. The name of Allah, the most extremely merciful and the specifically merciful who's showing mercy, so Rahman and Rahim. Everybody got this? Rahman got it? Tayyib. In Surah Al-Fatiha, we also find غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. طيب. So, now, غير مغضوب, right? What do we find here?
Majroor.
Majroor. So now, all you cool guys, tell me, why is it majroor? Alif? You weren't here in that stuff, were you?
No.
Watch the video. Why is it majroor? We just did this. Mudaf ilayh. Nakira, ma'rifa, right? There you go, right? Ma'rifa, nakira, majroor, no harf jar. This is mudaf ilayh. Alayhim, jar majroor, leave it. Walad dhalin. Tayyib. Why dhalin? And inshallah we'll discuss how different things become majroor. But this is majroor bil ya. Tayyib. This is majroor with what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when we talk about Muslimun and Muslimin, what's the difference? Muslimun is marfu' bil waw. Muslimin is majroor bil ya. It could be mansoon bil ya too, but we'll talk about that later. So this is majroor. Okay? But why is it majroor? Is it mudaf ilayh?
No.
So why is it majroor? Ooh. You did take the class 4 times, mashallah. And remembered.
What
this
is majroor?
I'm sorry, what?
Which one is majroor?
Dhalin.
Why it's majroor?
I mean, how do we know it's majroor or why is it majroor? We know because it's got a ya.
Oh, because of ya.
So when you have jam'a, mudhakkar salim, it's marfu bil waw. Dhalun would have been marfu. And it's majroor bil ya, so we know it's majroor. But why is the question I'm asking you.
Okay, because it's also sifa.
A sifa of who? Oh.
It's the beginning up there.
Of what?
That's ba, right?
Oh no, this is a different ayah. We finished Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Like the beginning, the first word is ba.
Right, but that ayah is done now. So we're not talking about bi-ism Allah anymore, right?
Okay.
So we are at غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِينَ. طيب. So, you notice here, as Abdul Rahman is gleefully pointing out, there is a wow.
That's not what I was pointing out.
Oh, what was it?
No, I was laughing because he asked if that was a ba. It wasn't even me this time.
Oh. Oh no, he was actually thinking it was majroor because of the ba. Not that he couldn't read my excellent
majroor?
Majroor, watch the last video and you'll figure it out.
Okay.
So now, here we have wow al-atf. This is called atf, to join. Everybody paying attention? Alright. So, atf is to join. So we have غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ, and we don't want to be on the path of those that Allah has His anger or wrath is upon them, nor Now we're joining. We're saying another thing. It's not a sifa. Nor of those that went astray. So because we're connecting with the waw, and there's different types of waw. There is waw al-ma'iyya, we discussed that in mansubat. There's waw al-qasam, we discussed that in majrurat. There's waw al-atf that we're discussing here. And there's more. We'll discuss this as the class goes. But this waw is to connect these two. Right? Because we don't want to be on the path of either one of them. So when you connect them in being ma'rifah and in being majroor, it takes on that sifa or the quality of what's before it, the atf. And then this is called atf ma'tuf. Ma'tuf is what you connect with. So this is ma'tuf to with ma'tuf ilay, yani this, because the harf al-atf. Now, inshallah, today we will even go over the base of all of the huruf al-atf. Which huruf, which letters in the Arabic language can you use to join i'rab, join the linguistic properties of asma. So one of them we just went over is what?
Wow.
Al-waw. So you can connect with al-waw. One of them is al-fa. You can connect with fa, especially when you have shart, jawab al-shart, or when you have something and then something. You can also connect with thumma. Thumma, fa, mim, dhamma, shadda, al-fatha. Now it's thumma with the fatha al-tha. This is not atf. Thumma we discussed is darf, there. We discussed the ayah about it. But thumma is to join, but thumma shows tartib. Like something happened, thumma something. Waw shows that it happened together. Now there's different types of waw, as I said. There is ma'iyya, and then there is atf. Then there is aw. What does aw mean? Or. Right? So we can say or, this or that. Also different type of or. Like this is where you are saying you can do this, that, or that. Right? Or you can say this happened or this happened. Hada aw hada. Tayyib? Lakin. What does lakin mean? But it also joins. Amma.
Not like it. Same thing, right?
Amma ba'd. And after that. Right? You're connecting the first part of the speech with the next, but with amma and then, as you could say in English. La. Now la is very interesting because la can come with different i'rab. It can come for atf, it can also come for nahi, it can also come for nafi, it can also come bringing its own i'rab, but it is one of the words, one of the huruf, the letters of atf. Bal. Bal you can take as or as well, but a different type of or, which is you are negating something. Like you could also say nay in Old English. I don't use nay much anymore. Nay, I shall be going to the show. But you can say bal. Like many times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say something the kuffar are saying, and then He will say bal. He says no, nay, or instead what is reality, and then He'll give you what's real. Right? So if you say هل ذهبت إلى مكة نقول بل ذهبت إلى المدينة ولكن إن شاء الله سنذهب إلى مكة. Like you could say, did you go to Mecca? You can say, no, but I did go to Medina, and inshallah I'll go to Mecca. So you're making a correction here. That's one of the things of bal. Then you have hatta. Hatta we discussed being from the huruf al-jar as well. And I told you at that time that hatta and many other like khala, hasha, ada, those they can come in different i'rab. Right? We have to learn where they are, and then we'll understand when we understand them to take what i'rab. But hatta can be used as one of the huruf al-atf, the huruf to join. Here
it's even or what? Hatta
here? Yeah, until, you can say even, you can translate in different ways, but basically you're gonna say we did this hatta maut, till. So it can be used differently, but hatta, it can come as mudaf, it can come, because it has no i'rab for mudaf, it can come as huruf atf, it can come as huruf jar. Some ulama have taken difference to it too, but how will you know is the context and what it does. Tayyib. So now let's go here. Harun, make some i'rab for us.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين.
طيب.
الله العظيم.
طيب. So
إن إذا خبر كان إن الله
خبر كان or
اسم إن.
اسم إن. Excellent. So this is actually your mubtada, right? Right? What type of jumla? We have jumla ismiya. And where's your khabar? This is your khabar.
يحب التوابين.
Yes. Well, I don't know. What do you think? No?
يحب التوابين.
Okay. What type of khabar is it? There's 4 types of khabar, right? We studied all this. Abdul Rahman.
What?
What type of khabar?
Khabar kana?
Khabar kana.
Is that yuhibbu?
Yes. Very clearly written.
This is
Easy.
This
What
is
is
jumla fi'liya.
Excellent.
Jumla fi'liya.
So khabar is jumla fi'liya. And we discussed khabar can be mufrad, it can be jumla ismiya, it can be jumla fi'liya, it could be shibh jumla. But this is a jumla fi'liya, it begins with a fi'l. So your khabar here has come as jumla fi'liya. Tayyib. So inna Allah, why is your mubtada mansoob? Mubtada should be Ahmad? Marfu'. Why is it mansoob? Because of inna. Right? Ism, inna is mansoob. Got it. Tayyib. Yuhib here is going to be your fi'l. Tayyib. At-tawabin, what is it? Majroor.
Yeah.
Any khilaf of ulama here on this being majroor, or everybody has ittifaq? أهل العلم, أهل النحو, أهل اللغة, أين أنتم؟ طيب. If this is majroor, why would it be majroor? I don't see it being mudaf ilay. I don't see it being after haruf jar.
There's ma'rifa.
Why would ma'rifa make it? Well, where's your mudaf? يحب a fi'l. مضاف or asma.
Oh, this is
It's mansoob. It's not majroor. As I said earlier, mudhakkar salim can be mansoob bil ya as well. And you could have known that easily by just thinking of the fact that this is the maf'ul bihi. Right? There, the tawabin, that verily or definitely indeed Allah, He loves the people who make tawbah. Right? So tawabin are maf'ul bihi, they are the ones that are being loved here. So, maf'ul bihi is mansoob. Tayyib, that was the easy part. Wa yuhibbu al-mutatahhirin. Right? Now here, wow, it joins these as well. And it joins them in i'rab. Now this is maf'ul bihi anyway. But you do see 2 sentences coming together. This is connected to this through the wow. Now, let's look at some easier examples. The Quran sometimes difficult, that's why I'm going to give you some very easy examples. جاء عثمان العاقل. Oh, what? You want to put غير عاقل here? So, Uthman, not necessarily me, just a general statement. Ja came, Uthman al-Aqil. What is the Arab here?
Ja came, it's fair.
Okay, this is fi'l, excellent. This is your fa'il. And what is this? Maf'ul. Nobody came on me, bro. So, al-Aqil, The one who has some amount of thinking, ability to think. Tayyib, what is this?
Which one? Lihi? Lihi? Maful Lihi?
Maful lihi? Did I come... Lihi? What is lihi? Lahu?
Fihi.
Fihi? Did I come in akil? I don't know who akil is, but... so, I didn't come... Akil means somebody who can think, right? So,
Sifa.
sifa, excellent. So this is a sifa. طيب القرآن الكريم
Karum is Sifa.
Not منعود ما شاء الله, man. I bet you know what that means. Just because you heard Abdurrahman say it. You think I don't know who's at what level? Can't cheat in this class, bro.
Karim is Sifa.
طيب طيب. So now, it's a good question, Usama. If it's the right answer, you just don't know why it's the right answer. طيب. If it's not منعود, tell me this, why isn't it مبتدا خبر? Now I know you heard it from Abdurrahman and you didn't know the answer.
They're both ma'rifah.
Excellent, you can listen really well from Abdurrahman's whispering in your ears. طيب. So this is your, what is being described, and this is your sifa. This is mawsuf and sifa, not ma'nood. طيب. Now,
What is Mansuf?
both are marfu'.
What is Mansuf? You said Mansuf?
Ma'suf, what is being described.
Oh.
Sifa, mawsuf. You're messing me up, man. Sifa, mawsuf, not man'ud. طيب. Now we understand sifa, right? And we understand atf. And inshallah, you're going to memorize all of the huruf al-atf. So you can know anytime that they come in the Quran or in ahadith. But now, and I'm going to give you some very easy examples because this is just an introduction, inshallah ta'ala. Have you ever read like a book and it begins with فَقَالَ الْإِمَامِ الْحَافِظ, for example, Ibn al-Qayyim, right? Or, you know, Al-Allama, Al-Shaykh al-Islam, like this, it has many titles. So now here, how would, if this is the beginning of a book, or beginning of the, قال الإمام, would it be mu, mi, ma? Imamu, excellent. Al-Hafidhu, the, the. طيب. Ibnu, ni, na. Ibnu, I got ni. Which one should I be?
Ibnu.
Okay, we have ni and nu. We have khilaf of ulama now. Ibn al-Qayyami, ma, mu. Mu. Okay, we have khilaf of ulama here too. طيب. So now, why is it imamu? Because what? You better be careful, you're going to make your hair come off, bro. Take it easy. طيب. So, imamu is your mubtada. Let's go with that.
Sheikh,
Al-Hafidhu. Yes.
even if you said qala,
No, it would be different, right?
but you said qala to begin with. Qala imam.
طيب. Okay, even if you said qala.
Then it's different, right? It's imaman.
If I said qala. Huh? 4 times you took the class. If you said qala, this would be the fa'il, it would still be marfu. But so imamu is your mubtada. What is al-hafidhu?
It's Sifa.
Sifa. So am I describing the imam? Who's imam?
Anta.
Jazakallah khair, man. I like this man. He said anta. Ahsant, mashallah. طيب. So here,
Ana imam.
mashallah, أنت الإمام أيضا؟ ما شاء الله كلنا إمام. هذا هو يعني بالأسف. إذا أنت الإمامنا كلنا في النار. If we look at,
Depends what Hafiz is description also.
okay, so here let's look at this. If we take al-imamu, al-hafidhu, ibnu, right? Are these describing? Are we talking about the same person or different people?
Same person.
What do you think, bro?
And
Same
his
kind of-
father.
You there? Alright, good.
I'm listening.
Same person or different? Are you talking about one guy who's an imam, another one who's a hafiz, the other one who's ibnu? No, we're actually describing the same person.
Who's that?
And who is Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah? But we are giving you different titles for the same person. Right? And they're not really descriptions. Like we didn't say, meaning Ibn al-Qayyim huwa mithalan latif, alim, mashallah, ahlul ilm. No, we're actually giving you badal, in place of. So in reality, this is called badal. And in badal, they will all be on the same wazn as well. Yani on the same i'rab. They will all be ma'rifa. They will all be the same i'rab.
Is that, besides as-sifa, is it a nat or?
So a nat and sifa are the same thing.
Oh, okay, a nat.
That's why you put them together. They're both used in the istilah of nahu. Like I said, in advanced classes, we could have gotten into a discussion of why we have these two titles and what the different ulama said. Is there a difference? Which ulama thought there was a difference? But we're not, so we're not. Right now, to you and to me, all of those, both of those are the same thing. Okay? Now, here, we're actually on number 3 now. Right? Which is badal. When you put another name in place of that name, meaning to describe the same thing. Right? So, badal is not a sifa. You're actually not describing what's in the beginning, but you're giving different names to the same thing. For example, if we said Amirul Mu'mineen Umar. Okay? Now, Amirul Mu'mineen, Amir, I was going to make you guys do the Arab. We're not done with this one yet, but Amiru al-Mu'mineen Umar. Okay? Now, Umar is mamnu min as-sarf and stuff, we'll get into that later, but anyway. So Amir means the leader, Al-Mu'mineen, the believers, and Umar is the name. Now, this is, I'll just make it easy for you, Mudaf ilayh, right? This is your Mudaf, and this is what we're talking about, right? Amir, the leader. Umar and Amir are the same thing, right? Because Umar is Amir al-Mu'mineen. We're not describing Umar's character or his great abilities in something. We're just telling you about the same thing, which is Amir al-Mu'mineen and Umar. So this is considered badal. And badal will take the Arab of the mubdal, yani the one it is being replaced for. Okay? So here when we came back to Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, we said Imamu al-Hafidhu, but when we came to Ibn, some of you ulama of Nahu thought it was Ibni, Osama. So, why did you think it's Ibni?
I didn't think.
Abdurrahman's not whispering in your ear anymore.
Oh,
You know?
talking to me?
Yes, yes. Remember we were talking about Ibn?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, that's good, but you can learn here. Now, Ibn al-Qayyim means the son of al-Qayyim. Now, Ibn al-Qayyim, the scholar we're talking about, is he al-Qayyim or is he the son of the caretaker of the Madrasa al-Jawziyah? The son. So al-Qayyim is actually his father. And Ibn is him. So this is actually the person we're talking about, is Ibn, not al-Qayyim. So Ibn, Hafiz, and Imam is all referring to the same person. Abu Bakr, also known as Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah. Tayyib? Everybody understand? Now, when we talk about al-Qayyim, that's his father. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah's father is al-Qayyim. So this is actually mudaf ilayh. So this means it's Ibnu al-Qayyami. Because Ibn is your mudaf, nakira. This is your ma'rifa, bil alif and lam. And because of this, this will become ma'rifa, but in itself it's not. So that becomes Ibn al-Qayyami. Ibn al-Qayyami. Okay? So now you look at the concept of badal. Tayyib? You guys with me or not?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Alright. Maybe looks a little lost here, but alright. So, inshallah, learn these in essence first, and we'll do a lot of practice. Inshallah, in the next classes, we'll do a lot of i'rab of ayat and things, inshallah. So that way, once you start practicing, everything will become easier, inshallah.
So the first one, when you give the example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Yes.
So Rahman, we can say basically that can be also badal. It can
So-
be sifa and badal, both of them, or no?
So it's a good, that's why I said earlier, I could have made an argument that this is badal. And when you look at books of i'rab, many times these arguments happen. But there's a couple of things. One thing is, in badal, a lot of times, it's not really telling you a descriptive word. It's rather telling you another role for the same person, right? For example, here, when we say Amirul Mu'mineen, it's not really telling you much about Umar. It's just telling you that he is also in this role. When we look at Al-Imam, Al-Hafidh, it's really not describing him. It is telling you different qualifications he has. But when you look at Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, it is from Rahama. It's not telling you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also something else. Rather, it's describing either the essence with Rahman or the fi'liya with Rahim of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the stronger i'rab here is, these are sifat. But like I said, these arguments and discussions do go on in the books of i'rab. And you can make cases both ways. But inshallah, I mean, right now I'm just going to give you the stronger views. When we go deeper, maybe we'll even get into discussions. Tayyib. So, when we look at the last one, which I'm just going to touch on a little bit today, and then we're going to go in depth in the next dars, is tawqeed. What does tawqeed mean? Emphasis. Now, like I said, in the Arabic language, there's many ways to show emphasis.
You say tawqeed or
Tawqeed.
Tawqeed.
Tawqeed. Right? For example, when I said inna Allah, right? Inna has no meaning of itself. It's just to show emphasis. Verily, indeed, surely. In English we have those too. But in Arabic it's a lot clearer, and there's a lot more ways, and they have a stronger or a clearer hierarchy. Right? If I said innama, you would know that's a stronger way of showing emphasis than inna. Right? If I said la wa illa or ma wal illa, those are stronger ways than inna. With af'al, I can't use inna. I can use qad and laqad and lam. So those are all ways of showing emphasis. One of the ways is to add another word which will only be there for emphasis. And inshallah, like I said, I have a lot of examples for tawqeed. We'll go over that in the next class. But I'm just introducing the concept here. Tayyib? So now we have 4 things for you to memorize. Na'at and sifa, which is one thing. Atf and the huruf atf. Badal and the concept of something else, also describing the same thing, but not describing it, rather giving it another name or another title. Tayyib? And tawqeed, which is to show emphasis. These 4 things are tawabi'. They will come as obedient or followers of whatever they are connected to. And all of them will have to be connected to something. So if you have a sifa, there is mawsuf. The sifa, the description, is going to be connected to the one it's describing. If you have atf, you have ma'tuf. If it is atf, one thing it's going to have to use one of the huruf al-atf, and there's going to be something it's going to be ma'tuf to. It's going to be connected to. If you have badal, you have the mubdal, yani that which is, badal is taking the place of. So when you have something and badal, here for example, ibn was actually your real subject. These were actually badal, even though you could say imam is mubtada and the rest are badal. But in reality, if you boil it down, we're actually talking about this person, who is the son of Al-Qayyim. So, Al-Hafidh Al-Imam is actually talking about Ibn Al-Qayyim. So, Mubaddal is what is being replaced, and you're going to have to connect it. Tawqeed is also going to show emphasis to whatever you're putting that emphasis to. So, it's also going to be connected as well. So, all of these are tawabi', they are following. They will follow in general, and we'll talk about exceptions later inshallah. They will follow the i'rab, they will follow the gender. So if one is mudhakkar, the other is going to be mudhakkar. If one is muannath, the other is going to be muannath. And they will follow the ma'rifa nakira. If one is ma'rifa, the other is going to have to be ma'rifa. One is nakira, the other is going to have to be nakira. طيب. Now, I know this is some new stuff for many of you, like Abdul Rahman, have already studied this, mashallah. But if it's new, just let it soak in. Just take it in. Make the chart. Memorize the words. Memorize the chart. And inshallah, like I said, when we first started with the marfu'at, everybody was like, what are you talking about? But now, you guys have mubtada and khabar, mashallah, like as if we're talking about Coke and Pepsi. So, sooner or later, it'll all become second nature to you. We've done a lot so far. But mashallah, those that are steadfast, you're making excellent progress. Make sure you're doing your homeworks. Make sure you're memorizing your charts. Try, inshallah, to memorize the huruf, like the huruf al-jar we discussed, and others, the inna wa ikhwatiha and kana wa ikhwatiha. As long as you're getting these principles, they will also be a good base for you to advance your Arabic. So especially if any of you go to Islamic universities or other madaris, inshallah, you will have a stronger base than others because you will have memorized the categories that are the basics of all Arabic grammar. Tayyib. Inshallah, we'll end here today. Next dars that you have with me, inshallah, we'll pick up from Tawqeed, and then we'll do examples for all four of these, and then we'll have a test, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khairan.
إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله